monitoring report every year which says where we're going on our local development plan, etc. 2 years ago, it said we're 2 years away from having a borough plan. At the Cabinet on the 5th of November, it said the annual monitoring, the borough plan will be ready November or December 2016, i.e. we're still 2 years from plan. Having what's gone on the last couple of weeks, the borough plan has been postponed to after the general election, it seems, adding another 6 months delay to the borough plan. Surely it's time for the portfolio holder to resign and be replaced by something that can do with My second question was on the same page 8A. The Vicarage Street development, it seems to be based upon building a new supermarket, according to Councillor Harvey's comments to the Economic Prosperity Board. Supermarkets are cancelling development plans left, right and centre for the ones we've already got planned. So surely the chance of 2 new supermarkets in the NEAT is totally impossible. Why are we wasting our time on trying to chase 2 supermarkets? Why aren't we redeveloping the Vicarage Street site for some alternative employment and residential use? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, firstly, Mr. Mayor, it's interesting to see very loud clapping from UKIP for the Green Party.
We're not UKIP.
We're not UKIP.
Oh, leave it out. Never be UKIP. We represent them. Nothing to do with UKIP. You put that in the minutes as well. How offensive can you be?
You've established who you are.
That's out of order.
Very out of order. I'm very offended.
A lot of us wear Labour.
Yes. 27 years we voted for you lot, and disgusted we are.
I'm going to say it again.
Apologise.
Can we have some quiet in the gallery, please?
Yes, you can if you don't offend
Have
us.
some quiet in the gallery. Thank you.
Don't offend us.
Mr. Mayor, at no point did I say everybody who was clapping was a UKIP member. I said there was very loud clapping from UKIP for the Green Party, and two candidates of UKIP sitting in the gallery are clapping very loudly for Councillor.
Would you like to point them out?
What's that got to do with what you said?
Because he actually come out with something that's common sense.
I'm going to ask again. This is the last time I'm asking.
Tell him to
If
stop
I'm going to
lying.
say it again, I'll have the gallery cleared. So can we have
So we won't do anything then, will we?
Councillor Harvey?
Firstly, Mr. Mayor, this council has long had a policy of not allowing large supermarkets and out-of-town developments. This has killed the town centre in many, many areas where supermarkets have been allowed in out-of-town areas and other large stores, and the town centres have been killed. This council has always had a policy of any supermarket development is required to be within or very close to town centres, so that the small businesses will continue to thrive alongside those shops. Because it can't be denied, Mr. Mayor, that most people go to supermarkets, but equally they like to shop in the small businesses, which we encourage, which are then very close to those areas. We do not own all of the Vicarage Street site. Half of it is owned by the County Council, 48%, of which Councillor Condoc is a member, and the County Council has certain requirements that need to be built on their or on the joint land in terms of this project. And part of that is a new library. This is part of the scheme, Mr. Mayor. And to do that, there has to be funding from elsewhere. None of the funding is coming from this council. In our 2 town centre development areas for Nuneaton, we are looking to funding coming from outside to be able to fund improvements in the area. And I will not be asking Councillor Lloyd to resign as the portfolio holder, Mr. Mayor. The Working Party would have progressed a lot quicker had in the past opposition members taken up their seats on that Working Party.
Thank you.
you, Mr. Mayor. I've got 3 points. I think I'd like to do them one at a time. First of all, point 2.A.1. Can I ask the portfolio holder, now that the transfer to Matrix Academy is no longer imminent, when exactly will the council be using the earmark budget to undertake the already overdue refurbishment of the all-weather pitches at Eton?
We're currently seeking negotiations with the Eton Academy and to find out how long we're going to have the lease for, and as soon as those negotiations are completed, then the funding will be made available for the pitch. Equally, we've said that previously. Funding isn't an issue, the funding's there. It just means now we've got to put all the funding in. So we'd like to know how long we're going to have the establishment for, because as you know, Council, in 2017, the lease comes up for renewal. So we want, basically, we're going through these negotiations in the coming months with the Eton Academy to find out that information.
Thank you. Your second point?
Can I just ask a quick supplementary there, because I think it's relevant. If the work needs doing and we've got the budget, why don't we just do the work now instead of waiting for the negotiations? It seems like it just needs doing.
As has been pointed out previously, this is taxpayers' money, and we want to make sure we get value for money. Business, you've got to think about it. I'm not going to pump money into a facility to have it taken back off us in a month or 6 months' time. We need to know how long we can have it, and there's a proper process of going through that. And we're going to follow that process correctly with the Eton Academy, and when that is concluded, then we'll make a decision.
Yeah, certainly, Mr. Mayor. The second point, if I could ask the leader, in relation to point 7, planning and development, there's a lot of concern across the meet about the lack of cemetery land for future burials. Would Councillor Harvey accept that if we had a borough plan in place, we could probably find landowners willing to sell land for the purposes of cemeteries?
Mr. Mayor, I think all council members know that this has gone to the Overview and Scrutiny panel to look for the suggestions, because we are short of land, and part of that is caused by the lack of, well, first of all, the county council, who has not agreed to let us have land that they own on the outskirts of the town, but in fact we are looking for land that is, and that's what's been agreed by the OSP and then by the Cabinet, that we will continue to look for land that is available. Of course, the price of land for cemeteries is presumably a lot lower than the price of land for any other sort of development. And so we aren't readily offered land for cemeteries, and neither can we, at the moment, compulsorily purchase such land. So we are looking, Mr. Mayor, and it's not a political matter in terms of party politics. It was something I understood that was agreed by all parties at the OSP in terms of the way forward, in looking for, which is obviously a matter of concern to all residents, that we have enough cemetery land for the future, and that's what we want to continue to do.
Thank you, Councillor.
And finally, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Item 10, Treasury Management 10D.2. We're being asked to agree that the changes to the credit methodology. Sorry, I'll leave that until later.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Wilson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. My question relates to agenda item 7A, page 26 of the agenda, to the portfolio holder. Could he elaborate to this authority and members and the public what contingency plans this authority is putting in place in the event that the inspector actually refuses the plans which are being put forward in the borough plan, because that could cause further delay beyond 2016 to 2017 and beyond. And surely part of good risk management is putting a contingency plan in place now?
Mr. Mayor, if the work plan is not yet completed, I can't see how we can have a contingency plan if the inspector refuses it. When we get to the situation of having the borough plan, and that is then going forward to the inspector, then we'll have a contingency plan.
Thank you. Councillor Wilson.
Mr Mayor, the answer is rather unsatisfactory both to members and to the public. We've had cabinet reports which he has actually signed off on and been there, where officers have recommended that the political proposals for the draft borough plan could not be substantiated at appeal. Surely it is reasonable. If I may finish the question, Mr
A
Mayor.
supplementary question I'll allow.
It is. I'm
Right, get to the question then.
I am, and considering the waffle we've had from that side, I'm sure this side.
Ignore the muppets.
We've had nothing but bad manners from that side so far.
Can we, in the spirit of the season, can we just get to the question?
Surely, given the fact that officers' recommendations have said to Cabinet that they don't think it's going to be substantiated at the inspection stage and could incur costs, that it would be reasonable for this authority to plan for the eventuality, however unfortunate, that the plan is not approved by the inspector, financial and otherwise.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Hart.
If Councillor Wilson actually agreed to sit on the working party, no. I won't continue with people shouting, Mr Mayor. If Councillor Wilson actually agreed to sit on the working party, no doubt those questions could be answered in the correct form.
Right. That's all the questions. Thank you. Can we now move on to item 10? That's a recommendation from the Cabinet and to the committee. Items A to E are matters requiring decisions by the Council. They're open to debate, subject to the usual
Microphone on.
Rule 13, the Council's procedure. And we move on to item A, that's the consultation of the Local Government Boundary Commission draft regulations, the new electoral arrangements for Whiteshire County Council. And can I invite Councillor Harvey to move the recommendations from Cabinet?
Mr Mayor, thank you. I move that the letter to the Commission and the response be noted.
Thank you. Does that find a second? Thank you. Any member wish to speak? Councillor Wilson.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. We on this side of the chamber will not be endorsing the recommendation from Cabinet. The proposals have been to an independent body. I have heard Cabinet members say that it was Conservative proposals adopted. If you look at the two of them, they are not Conservative proposals, nor are they the Labour Lib Dem proposals which are put forward from County. However, it is a statutory body set up by Parliament, which was at that time a Labour government, to make independent recommendations as to electoral arrangements for authorities across the country. Whether we like those proposals or not is irrespective. It is irresponsible to make political points on this issue on matters of representation of the people when it has been independently verified. And perhaps the leader, I appreciate he wasn't actually there at the Cabinet meeting when I spoke, it was the deputy in his place. I made the recommended suggestion that this authority actually considers looking at its own arrangements, given we have 5 wards which are outside of tolerance and 3 which are close, meaning that some residents are vastly overrepresented and some are vastly underrepresented in this chamber. And surely if we are saying one thing to county, we should follow through and be fair on both sides and look at our own arrangements too.
Councillor, anyone else wish to speak on this consultation? If not, Councillor Harvey, wish to speak?
Well, first of all, Mr Mayor, our own arrangements are not under review at the moment. When they are, of course, everybody will have the chance to comment on them, as has always been the case. But we believed at the time that Warwickshire County Council's proposals were fair and they took into account all 3 statutory criteria, and therefore were disappointed by the Commission's stand by that, Mr Mayor. We backed up the County Council decision.
Thank you. That being the case then, I'm going to move to the vote. All those in favour of the recommendation? All those against? Abstentions? Thank you. Now we move on to B now, which is the Bermuda Conductivity Project Funding Application. Councillor Harvey, please move the recommendation.
Mr Mayor, this did go to Cabinet, and this has been, I think, talked about many times. This is in fact largely the County Council's project. It's because of the situation of the County Council in relation to grant applications from LEP that this came through us. So in effect, monies will be passed via us and will end up back at the County Council. And then all the decisions, and we did ask that people's comments be taken on board by the County Council at the Cabinet meeting, all that will actually be decided by the County Council. It's a method of working through us, money from the LEP. There's none of our money, but I do move that the General Fund Capital Programme for 2014-15 be increased by £500,000 to be funded by grant monies from Coventry and Warwickshire LEP. So basically, Mr Mayor, it will come in and go out again.
Thank you, Councillor Harvey. Is there a second to that motion? Thank you, Councillor. Does any member wish to speak? Councillor Conklin.
I actually think we paused first.
Councillor Conklin.
Oh, they saw me first. Okay, this is an absolutely disastrous plan. There was actually a really good idea of actually opening the bridge up for cyclists, maybe having a buzz route, but keeping it sustainable. The title of the project originally was Sustainable Transport Link. The clue is in the title. It's about getting people out of their cars and going between the hospital, the new station and the employment land at Bermuda, all without actually adding to the pollution. Now, the project gradually morphed, and a few local members, particularly county council members, were really keen on actually building effectively a relief road for the Heath End Road, which effectively puts traffic on a totally unsuitable road through Bermuda. This is not a sustainable project, because what you get then is you get more traffic being generated, because as soon as you've got two ways out the bottom of Heath End Road, either going to the bottom or going through Bermuda Village, more traffic will then come into the Needham from the North Warwickshire to go through this area. So you actually increase the pollution and increase the traffic, particularly on the Alby Road and that end of the Heath End Road. You'll get more traffic cutting through the roadwards. You actually make the situation worse by actually opening the bridge up to all traffic. The best thing to do is to keep it sustainable. And if the bus company doesn't want to run a route, which is what they tell me, they want to open to all traffic, then we don't need to build it for any buses, in which case we've almost got it already. The project was costed about £1.6 million as a sustainable transport project. As a non-sustainable transport project, it was costed at £4.2 million. In the paperwork here, it says, adding all the contingencies and the risks, it should be budgeted for 5.3 million. 5.7 is it? 5.7 million, and we've only raised 3.7. This is an underfunded project which hasn't had any consultation, and you're giving it the money. If you give a project money first, then there's no check to actually say it is sensible. And as I say, there's a far cheaper project. We've already got the cycle lanes there. Yeah, we can tidy them up a bit, but we do not need a massive amount of money spent making it less sustainable. And the public are really behind keeping this as a nice, quiet dead end. Bermuda's a charming place. I used to walk my dog over there as a child when I used to live in Milford Street. It always used to be a dead end. And we have a bypass. That's where the traffic should be. To actually take the traffic through Bermuda Village is nuts. And this is one of these sort of red lines. This project so stupid that I'll be there standing in front of the bulldozer, I'm sure, in 3 years' time going ahead. And so I will actually be voting against the funding, because we need to consult first, we need to take it to scrutiny, not scrutiny about the funding, scrutiny about what we actually need. And then when we work out what we need to be done in Bermuda, we can work out how much it costs, and then we work out what we want to do. To actually fund a stupid project and then not have any scrutiny until it's a done deal is nuts. And the consultation, it'll be a one-option consultation. This is the project, what do you think about it? What colour do you want the railings painted? We know what consultations are like.
Well said.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. We on the Conservative bench will also be voting against tonight. There are so many holes in this proposed connectivity funding project which this authority cannot actually shirk its responsibility for. It comes down to the borough plan. Because without having a borough plan in place which sets out the infrastructure we require for our borough going forward for generations to come, we will get it wrong. This is putting the cart before the horse, unfortunately. And Warwickshire County Council are getting no response from the officers and political masters over here. That is the information I'm being given from portfolio holders over at Shire Hall. And so, how are they going to be expected to know what infrastructure is going to be required from this borough? We will not be voting for this tonight. Labour know full well why we will not participate in the borough plan talks, because it is behind closed doors, with no public representation, with no opportunity for public meetings or contributions, and they could have come to the meetings of the Borough Plan Working Party, which are suitable for open debate, and made representations about the suitability or otherwise of the connectivity project, and looked at the necessary effects that would have further on down the chain in the infrastructure of Bermuda and of Arbury and the wider Nuneaton. We cannot therefore support this proposal tonight. If Labour had any backbone, they would support the residents, they would get rid of the borough plan and put it in place to help the residents of Arbury and Bermuda who are going to be most affected. But no, they're going to vote for it like good little people and do it against the residents of the people who are going to be most affected. I will put myself in the shoes of those who are going to be affected. Would I want this by me? No.
Well said, mate.